Welcome everyone, I'm Kingway Valence, and thanks for watching this Spore Speedrun challenge. Today, we are unlocking every badge in Space Stage, including destroying the entire Grox Empire on hard difficulty. This entire challenge was streamed live on YouTube across 17 different parts and took place over 5 months. Big thanks to everyone who watched live and kept me going during this run. Here are the highlights of this over 52-hour challenge, and the entire run is available to watch if you'd like to see the full series as well. Destroying the Grox Empire is the main focus of this challenge, and took the majority of the time. But destroying the Grox only earns one specific badge on its own, and our goal for this speedrun is to unlock every badge in Space Stage. Destroying the Grox has been by far the most requested challenge I've received, but even after my over 1,000 hours of playing Spore, I've never destroyed the entire Grox Empire myself, or completed the rest of the badges in Space Stage either. So what better time than now to do both? Many people have destroyed the Grox before, but what I was interested in finding out during this run was how long does it really take, and could destroying the Grox really be feasible as a speedrun? I intend to find out, and like any speedrun, I would employ every trick and glitch in the book to help destroy the Grox and earn every badge as quickly as possible. Starting from the beginning of Spore in Cell Stage, and evolving our way through the Tide Pool, we are making sure to complete each stage in a specific way to earn the correct consequence traits going into Space Stage. Our goal for Space Stage is to become a shaman to unlock the return ticket ability, which will be important later. For now, we need to make sure we finish at least 3 stages in the green range on the timeline. For Cell Stage, we finished in the herbivore range going into Creature Stage. Since we only need 3 total green finishes, this gives us the option for one stage to be something else. We are going to use this free choice to become adaptable out of Creature Stage, which is the blue finish on the timeline. Adaptable gives us the Speed Demon ability in Space Stage, which makes our spaceship travel 50% faster between stars. A must-have when expecting to play in Space Stage for over 50 hours. Moving into Tribal and Civilization Stage, we will finish these stages with the green consequence traits to give us Shaman in Space Stage. Thankfully, these stages ending green is exactly how the speedrun works for these stages as well, so it all went fairly smoothly. After putting on a hat on our creature, and duplicating our tribal babies, we completed Tribal Stage and moved into Civilization Stage as Religious. We conquered our planet without even buying an aircraft, and reached Space Stage in just over an hour on hard difficulty. The one badge we won't be unlocking during the run is the Joker badge. This badge is unlocked by cheating by using the command console. Some of these cheats include giving us more money or repairing our ship for free. However, we will be completing this challenge without using any cheats, and for the purposes of timing this run, time will end once we unlock every badge except the Joker badge to keep this run legit. But for the sake of completion, we will still unlock the Joker badge once we've done everything else. But since we aren't cheating in more money for this run, we need to generate a lot of spice to buy everything we need for this challenge. Our home planet's moon is a very convenient purple spice planet, so we will colonize our moon and start terraforming it to generate spice. This galaxy is available for download in the description if you'd like to play with this purple spice moon as well. The strategy from here is very similar to the maximum money speedrun, where we duplicate our 99 spice and sell it to our home planet for a large profit. We will be doing this throughout the run to accumulate millions of Spore bucks. Now that we've established ourselves in space and have a bit of money to use, we can now perform the most important glitch in this run that will make this challenge a lot more fun, and why we needed to become a shaman for the return ticket. We are going to make our spaceship completely invincible for the rest of Space Stage. This glitch isn't too difficult, but requires a few specific steps to complete. First, we need to become the ghost ship, which is done by saving at the same time our ship is destroyed. Once we are the ghost ship, we need to fly to the center of the galaxy and watch the cutscene. As the ghost ship, we can fly without fuel, so we can head straight there. And here is our first contact with the Grox. This part isn't necessary for destroying the Grox, but I wanted to show this really cool trick for the stream. If the Grox are the first empire we contact, and the Drake equation cutscene plays on a Grox planet, this will allow us to trade with the Grox. Our relationship is currently too low to trade, but if we see the message, improve relationship to trade, then we know the trick worked. We will come back later to ally the Grox, which is another badge we have to unlock as well, and we'll be able to fully trade with them. Now we can travel through Grox territory and reach the galactic core. After the cutscene, our spaceship's health and energy are restored. However, we are still the ghost ship, and we cannot take any damage. But unfortunately, the ghost ship gets stuck when on a planet and can be softlocked, which wouldn't be good for destroying the Grox. However, we can use the return ticket to restore our ship and continue playing Space Stage like normal, but without being able to take any damage. We use the return ticket on the Grox home planet, which is the only Grox planet with 3 cities. This will be the very last Grox planet we conquer in about 50 hours from now. After using the return ticket, that completes the process to become the Invincible Spaceship. Even jumping without energy won't damage our ship, and we won't take any damage for the rest of the run. I'm super thankful this glitch exists. I knew destroying the Grox would take a long time, so streaming it made sense so I wouldn't have to grind it alone. But I was also very new to streaming, so I'm glad there was a way to complete the run while still being able to relax and chat with stream without always needing to focus entirely on the game. This glitch made this series a lot more enjoyable to complete. Now we can go back to allying the Grox. Allying the Grox is one of the badges in Space Stage we need to unlock, and we need to ally the Grox first before we declare war with them. Once we declare war and begin their destruction, we won't be able to ally them anymore. So the order of operations is very important for this part of the route, and once we improve the relationship high enough, we can trade with the Grox since we set that up earlier. And there is the Dance with the Devil badge unlocked for a grand total of 0 badge points. We also unlocked the Warmonger 5 badge for free, as every other empire we've contacted so far immediately declares war on us for allying with the Grox. And this other question mark badge slot here is for destroying the Grox. We are allied with the Grox for now, but once we declare war, they will start attacking us. To defend our purple spice planets, we are going to colonize a planet much closer to the Grox. They seem to attack our closest colony to them at least most of the time, so we are going to make a distraction colony for them to attack instead of our much more important purple spice planets. We are going to colonize this system on planet Typto, which is on the edge of the Grox territory on the same arm as our home planet. Typto's position in the galaxy will be an important reference point once we start pushing the Grox back. The last of the initial setup for day 1 of this challenge is to stop the wars with the empires near our home planet to prevent additional attacks. And we need to find 2 other specific empires that we can use for the Split Personality badge in the future. The Split Personality badge is unlocked by switching our archetype to that of another empire by completing that empire's archetype training. Each archetype has different training, and some take a lot longer than others. The 2 shortest trainings are from the Diplomat and Zealot philosophies. We will ally these 2 empires that have the correct archetypes, and clear out all the other nearby empires to allow our allies to expand. They need to expand their empires to reach an empire size of at least level 4 to begin giving us the split personality training, which will occur later. Destroying these other empires will also give us the Conqueror badge, which we will need to unlock some better weapons to destroy the Grox with. Now everything is ready to start destroying some Grox colonies. There are a few ways to destroy Grox cities, including bombs, lasers, terraforming, and even destroying their entire planets. We'll experiment with every tool throughout the run to see what's the most effective. But now, we need to call off the Alliance to start raining fire upon the Grox. The Grox's cancelled ally message is pretty funny. They can't believe someone would cancel the alliance with them. The Grox colonies on the outer edge of their territory don't have any buildings, so we can test out the Mega Laser. And here's me live for the first Grox colony destroyed. Alright, here we go. Time for destruction. So I'm going to show, I think the Mega Laser is... Oh, no, we get nothing. We get a crash. The game does not want us to attack, but hopefully good thing I saved. As soon as we attack, it crashes. Yep, the game crashed right as we attacked. But thankfully we saved and we can try again. And there we go, the first Grox colony of many to be destroyed. The Grox have 2,400 star systems, so this will take a while. This was the start of day 2, and was mostly focused on destroying Grox colonies. We found that the Mega Bomb is the tool of choice to destroy their colonies, and will be used to destroy nearly every Grox city. The Mega Bomb destroys these cities in one hit to their city hall, and doesn't take any ammo. Most tools that can destroy cities in one hit, like the Antimatter Bomb and even the Volcano, need to be purchased with only a few at a time. The Mega Bomb only uses a little bit of energy to destroy these cities, so the Mega Bomb seems like the best tool for the job. Along with destroying the Grox, we are also working on a few other badges in parallel. Some badges require finding certain rare objects in the galaxy, including the Collector badge for finding 100 artifacts, and the Wonderland Wanderer badge for finding 12 storybook planets. So as we are destroying Grox colonies, we are taking a moment to pick up artifacts we find along the way. I wasn't expecting finding 100 artifacts to take very long. However, they have to be 100 unique artifacts collected. There are only 130 different artifacts in Space Stage, so as we approach 100 collected, the chances the next one we find being unique becomes less likely, but we have over 2,400 systems to explore, so we should be able to find enough in that time. We also need to find 12 storybook planets. These are special planets that generate randomly in the galaxy with no predetermined locations. Each time we reach a new star system, there is a very rare chance that a system will generate with a storybook planet. We only need 12 of them, and they don't need to be unique, but it's always great when we find one. Ooh, Terra Score 3, I'm hoping this is a Wonderland Wanderer. Yeah, it is! Woo! Let's go out before it crashes. And save! Just in case. So yeah, that's how I try to identify it. Terra Scores 2 and 3 should be much more likely to get the storybook planet. So yeah, they're not impossible, they're just super rare. And it crashed! And we saved! It crashed! Spore crashing became a real problem for this run. Sometimes it would crash several times in a row before I could even really do anything in the game. Most of the time I would just play it off, as it started out crashing maybe once every 30 minutes or so, but it got progressively worse. And here it crashed 4 times in a row, and I'm starting to get a bit worried if we can even continue the run. And desperate for anything, I tried loading Spore with Galactic Adventures installed. I usually just run the base game, unless I'm playing a Galactic Adventure specifically. But unfortunately, that didn't fix the problem. And I tried reinstalling the game, installing Creepy and Cute, uninstalling Galactic Adventures, but nothing seemed to work. And on day 7, we crashed 40 times in a 3-hour session, which is a crash every 4.5 minutes. It was getting unbearable. However, VanillaCold from the stream offered to take a look at the crash logs that Spore generates every time the game crashes. And they were able to not only identify the problem, VanillaCold created a mod for Spore that fixed the crash. And starting on day 8, this completely solved the problem. This was amazing. Thank you so much to VanillaCold for creating this mod. It truly saved this series. The specific problem causing the crash was Spore was checking the ally status of another empire, which is normal, but sometimes checking an empire that didn't exist. This passed a null pointer to the ally check function, as there was nothing to check, and that caused Spore to crash. The mod detects when the null pointer is created during the check, and skips the rest of the function instead, preventing the crash. This sort of thing should have been patched by Maxis in development, but Spore is notorious for being buggy. I've never used mods before, but it was super easy to install with the ModAPI Launcher, and the mod itself will be available in the description. Spore mods require running with Galactic Adventures, so the rest of the run will stay with Galactic Adventures installed. The speedrunners have also agreed that this mod is speedrun legal, as it just fixes a specific crash without altering anything else in the game. From here on day 8 and onward, we started making progress significantly faster. I also started using a face cam during the stream, so we'll be seeing me alongside the run as well. This was also the point where I started mapping our Grox Destruction progress. Using the interactive star map for Spore, the Grox start out controlling about this much territory. This is about 2100 parsecs from the center of the galaxy, and this is how much of the Grox we've destroyed at the end of day 7 after almost 21 hours, including the first 4 stages and working on other badges as well. However, from here, without it crashing, we made a lot more progress. We were also much more focused on destroying the Grox without being distracted as much from other badges. For the next 7 hours of Grox Destruction, we were strictly focusing on unlocking other badges that can be done in parallel without too much disruption. This included completing trade routes, cleaning eco-disasters, collecting artifacts, and still checking for storybook planets. And in this time, we doubled the territory taken from the Grox. And after 6 more hours, we made it all the way around back to where we started, within the 1000 and 2100 parsec bands. We were staying between this range because the Grox colonies are easier to destroy outside of 1000 parsecs. The Grox have 4 different tiers of planets. On the very outer edge of Grox territory, from 2100 to 2000 parsecs, their planets only have 1 city with no buildings. From 2000 to 1500 parsecs, their planets still have 1 city each, but include a few buildings. And from 1500 to 1000 parsecs, the Grox have planets with 2 cities each and are nearly filled with buildings. But all of these cities can be destroyed in 1 megabomb from our spaceship. However, from 1000 parsecs to the core, their planets have 2 cities that are completely full of buildings. These cities take 2 to 3 megabombs each to destroy, which is why we saved them for last. Once we got to this point, where the Grox only controlled within 1000 parsecs, we took a pause on the Grox to finish up all the other badges. We already found enough artifacts, storybook planets, and saved enough planets from eco-disasters in this time, but now we need to focus on the remaining badges. And to my surprise, the Cleaner and Gopher badges were the next most grindy badges to unlock. These badges need us to complete 70 Cleaner missions and 70 Delivery missions. These took a pretty long time. I definitely underestimated how long these would take. These should have maybe been 50 each at most. I'm not sure what Maxis was thinking for these. But we do still have to wait for those empires that we are using for the split personality badge to expand, so we can complete these missions while we wait. Other empires won't expand if we are too far away from them, which is why they're still less than level 4 even after 36 hours. But after enough time completing missions, the diplomats are level 4 and we can begin the split personality mission for them, which is to form 5 new alliances. This is by far the easiest split personality mission to complete. Some of these training missions to get different archetypes take a lot longer. After completing this mission, we are also going to continue with the Cleaner and Gopher badges, waiting for the Zealots to expand as well, and complete their split personality mission, which is to colonize 15 new planets. Then we keep switching back and forth for 6 total of these missions, but end with the Zealots to keep the Fanatical Frenzy. The split personality badge using this strategy was completed a lot faster than I originally expected, taking only around 45 minutes to do all 6. I thought this one was going to take the longest. But now we have to return to the grind that is the Cleaner and Gopher badges. Then finishing up the other badges, including the Brain Surgeon badge, all the Terraforming badges, and the Planet Artiste badges. With everything else complete, we can now start the home stretch to destroy the remainder of the Grox Empire. With the Grox colonies only within 1000 parsecs and every other badge unlocked, the Grox now have our sole focus. We have determined that the Mega Bomb is still the best way to destroy the remaining Grox cities, even now that each city takes around 3 hits with the Mega Bomb, since these colonies are completely full of buildings. Every other tool to destroy these cities is either slower, has limited uses, or needs to be restocked. The only other tool that could be faster than the Mega Bomb is the Fanatical Frenzy, if there are a lot of Grox planets within a system. It takes about 20 to 30 seconds to clear a Grox planet with 2 cities on it with the Mega Bomb, and the Fanatical Frenzy takes about a minute for the full animation to play out, including resetting the Fanatical Frenzy by saving and quitting, but will capture the entire star system. So if a system has more than 2 planets under Grox control, it would be faster to use the Fanatical Frenzy. Getting close to the end, and we can calculate a good estimate for how long it would take to destroy the Grox on their own, since this total time includes unlocking the rest of the badges. The 1000 parsec range will be cleared out without worrying about the other badges and without crashes in about 9 hours. We also cleared out this area with these 2 large clumps in about 3 hours on its own as well, circling the rest of Grox territory, giving it a fair comparison with about 3 hours per circle. I'd estimate it takes around 30 to 33 hours to destroy the Grox Empire as the Invincible Ship, leaving around 20 hours for everything else. And on day 17 of this challenge, we pushed the Grox all the way back to their last home planet, and I'll let the final moments play out with the live commentary. This should hopefully be the last one if we drop a Fanatical Frenzy right here. There it is, there's the badge. For the badge out of heck. And we destroyed the Grox Empire right there. The Grox Empire has been destroyed, and you've earned the badge out of heck. And that's it, that's the entire time. There's time. And we did it, destroying the Grox and completing every badge in 52.5 hours. There is still the Joker badge to unlock, so just for fun, we'll use the Refill Motives cheat, which removes the invincibility effect from our spaceship, making us destructible again. And here's every badge unlocked, including the Joker badge. This galaxy with all of the Grox removed will be available for download if you'd like to play with a Grox-free galaxy, along with a second galaxy, where the Grox still only have 1 system remaining, if you'd like to destroy the Grox for yourself. This was an incredibly fun challenge, and thank you to everyone who stopped by the stream and helped along the way. The entire challenge is still available on my YouTube channel if you'd like to relive the entire Grox Destruction, and let me know what other challenges you'd like to see in the future. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm King Valence, and I'll see you next time.